Justice. Traits. Absolute judgment field. Justice automatically imposes an area of effect law within his aura. Sins and lies are revealed, and opponents are bound by karmic weight. Their wrongdoings hinder their abilities. Retribution chain. Every time he is harmed, the damage is logged and reflected later with interest, either physically or spiritually. Balance manifestation. Can summon a celestial scale to balance good versus evil in a target's soul. If the opponent is found guilty, their power output is forcefully capped or inverted. Omniperception sees not only actions but intentions, giving him insight into future behavior and ability to react before things are committed. Divine Smite. When an enemy breaks the rule of fair combat, deception, ambush, abuse of power, Justice can access a limit-breaking finisher that bypasses durability and defenses. Narrative archetype. He is the judge, a mythic archetype that transcends mortals. He does not fight to win. He fights to restore universal balance. Usuzumi Hinageshi. Traits. Ghost Orchid Invocation. Summons spectral flowers whose petals are imbued with emotions like sorrow, parting, regret. These petals sap vitality, magic, and clarity of mind. Ephemeral Touch. Can phase partially into the spirit realm, letting her avoid physical attacks and sometimes bypass defenses. Soul Thread Weaving. Manipulates the threads of memory and spirit to bind enemies, sever emotions, or make opponents relive traumatic moments mid-battle. Emotional Cursecraft. The more emotional weight an opponent carries, the more her curse-laced techniques spike in power. Sublimation Bloom. A last resort move where she sacrifices her presence temporarily, becoming a passive field of memory petals that weaken, confuse, and emotionally unravel anything nearby. Narrative archetype. The Wraith Lily, an elegant, tragic magician who dances between worlds and punishes through emotional entropy, not brute force. Fight analysis. Morality versus emotion. Justice deals in objective balance, imposing laws based on cosmic right and wrong. Hinageshi weaponizes subjective pain, using feelings of loss and regret as emotional energy. This creates a conceptual clash. Her powers grow stronger the more emotionally loaded her opponent is, but Justice's psyche is incredibly stable, reinforced by his metaphysical detachment. He likely has very little unresolved grief to exploit. Edge. Justice. Her usual emotional corrosion would have less effect, limiting her offense early on. Combat approach. Hinageshi attacks through gradual corrosion, weaving illusions, binding memories, and draining magic with cursed blossoms. Justice responds with imposed karmic force. Attacks aren't just blocked, they are reflected or punished. When she attacks, Justice logs every action through retribution chain. She may land several ghost-based debuffs, but if any of them qualify as dishonorable under his field's rules, she risks triggering Divine Smite. Edge. Justice again. He is built to withstand layered assaults and respond with overwhelming counterforce. Utility and adaptation. Hinageshi is versatile. She can hide in the spirit realm, confuse enemies with memory-laced illusions, and even temporarily disperse herself into a field. Justice, however, possesses omniperception, meaning even when illusions or spirit plane tricks are used, he can see through them by tracking intent and soul movement. She could delay defeat, but she can't fully escape his sight, and she lacks raw power to break his divine defenses unless she lands a precise emotional blow he fails to resist. Edge. Moderate to Justice. Hinageshi can stall, but not shift the flow. Narrative outcome potential. Hinageshi wins only if Justice harbors hidden guilt, pain, or regret, which she can manipulate into weakness. However, Justice is written as a pure avatar of judgment, meaning his soul is already weighed and balanced, making this scenario unlikely. Conversely, Justice automatically counters beings who use deceit, manipulation, or emotional coercion, which fits Hinageshi's entire combat toolkit. If judged as indirect emotional attacker, she may fall under the karmic backlash of his core power set. Overall chance of winning. Justice, 85% chance of victory. With objective moral perception, karmic rebounding, and anti-deception powers, he's naturally aligned to neutralize someone like Hinageshi. His resistance to emotion-based warfare leaves her without her usual edge. Usuzumi Hinageshi, 15% chance of victory. She might prevail only in a rare scenario where she discovers a moral contradiction within Justice, e.g., a hidden hypocrisy or blind spot, and exploits it with surgical curse work, but given his cosmic role, this is improbable.